involved with the gallery for a very long time, and happily so. And I thought it was great when the Mosman Art Gallery opened here, because I've lived in, apart from the 5 years in London, the rest of my life I've lived in Mosman. I went to Mosman High School, so did my wife Judy. Strange enough, they didn't teach art to boys when I went there, which is kind of disappointing. I mean, nowadays Mosman High School has a very good reputation for its students, and rightly so. So when the Mosman Art Gallery opened, I was very pleased that it should be there. I first moved here when I was about 14, so I'm 83, it's a long time. Apart from the time we lived overseas, the rest of the time I've lived in Mosman. I wasn't particularly good at school, but I like painting and I like drawing, and I would always, if my mother asked me, about a birthday party, always easier for me to do a drawing to explain where I'd been. And I was accepted at the East Sydney Techs, now called the National Art School. I was 14, I think I was the youngest student that started. And at 14, I was thrilled to be going to art school. I thought that was fantastic. And more than anything, although politically incorrect, I wanted to see a totally nude woman. I hadn't seen one up to that point in time. At 14 and a half, I was ready. We bought a house in the back of Chinaman's Beach, $40,150. The guy wanted a little bit more for it. I said, look, you can pick me up and shape me. I do not have anything else. And in the end, he accepted. So $40,000 in those days, it certainly changed a lot since then. So we've lived in Chinaman's, I don't know, 50, 60 years or something. When the gallery first opened, I can't even remember who asked me, but we were very happy to give the money to start the Mosman Youth Art Prize. Now, it's grown considerably. I don't know how many entries. I think this year there's maybe 1,000 entries. And the standard is really, really good. So there are lots of great things that happen in the Mosman Gallery. Like in Mosman, there are various things you can belong to. You can belong to a sailing club, or you can belong to a running club, or a bowling club, or any kind of. But to belong to the art gallery is a different sensation. If you belong to a swimming club, you know what's going to happen. You're going to swim from one place to another. But if you belong to the gallery, every time you go there, you're going to be surprised by something. You're going to see something you hadn't considered. Whether you're a painter or just a really good looker, every time you walk into the Mosman Gallery, when they have an exhibition on, you're going to be thrilled with something. It's a great gallery. It's a very, very important part of the Mosman community. I don't have to encourage young people. Almost inevitably, they're better than me if they're really young. I cannot paint as well as a 5-year-old kid. I've said it before, and what I mean by that is that before logic takes over, when you're just making marks and shapes and things out of the top of your rather tiny mind at 5, they make the most delicious things. With parents or grandparents who happen to be watching this, there's nothing more important that you can own than the drawings that your children or grandchildren do when they're young. To be involved with the Mosman Gallery, it's part of a long history going back to the artists who worked in Mosman years ago, Arthur Street and Tom Roberts, Margaret Preston, all of those that's a continuation through Mosman. So to be part of that, whether just as a viewer or member of the creative circle or in some kind of philanthropic way, I would certainly encourage it. As I said before, I think that, there's lots of clubs and things. Mosman Bowling Club, you know what's going to happen. You're going to bowl it down there and it's going to go near the little white one. You go into the gallery, you don't know what you're going to see or where it might take you. That's the pleasure.
Well, being creative people are always drawn to galleries, and Ken spent a lot of time there and presents the Mosman Art Prize, and so we've always been involved, really, since we've lived here. Since we came back from London and lived in Mosman, gallery is sort of an integral part of our lives. We don't really go out an awful lot. We do a lot of work-related things. So the Mosman Gallery is an important part of our lives and Mosman and being here.
It's always the excitement of walking in and finding something to challenge you. I mean, it's great, like the Balnaves collection is wonderful, so it's always great to see such fabulous early works, and that was a great gift.
It has to come naturally from people's interest in art. They naturally gravitate to a gallery and become involved, I think.
Well, it just shows the importance of the gallery, not only within the Mosman community, but within this kind of whole area around here. It's I think, become one of the most important regional galleries. Like, we've had lots of touring exhibitions of the work that's gone to various regional galleries. And you always think of them in a country sense. But of course, the Mosman Gallery is the Mosman Regional Gallery. Important.
We have lots of friends in their 90s.
Yeah, we do.
And they're all creative people, so it must keep people going.